to welcome engineer Bashar Tello, who will share strategies on turning emerging trends into tangible, transformative business results. With immense delight, I call upon Mr. Tello up on the stage, please. Can we have a huge round of applause for the gentleman?
Well, assalamu alaikum. Over 70% of digital transformation projects and initiatives actually failed. Not because of the technology itself, but because of the lack of strategic planning and clear goals. By 2030, more than 80% of the organizations will be using AI in their daily operations. But fractions of them will really see the value behind it because they weren't really planning for it strategically. Another important thought, last year alone, cyber attacks caused more than $8 billion, which is total of Japan and Germany GDP. In UAE, as per the UAE digital economy strategy, the digital economy of the UAE will participate to up to 20% of the GDP. But achieving that won't be as fast or how fast we're going to achieve or adopt AI, but how wisely we're going to adopt that. So based on that, let's jump into the strategy and how we can really find the values behind adopting new trends and technologies. I'm sure you've heard and you've seen many organizations have really adopted AI, blockchain, whatever buzzword you would hear. And I personally met some of the top CEOs where they come to me saying, Bashar, we're now an AI native government entity. I said, wow, that's a huge word. I have done that. He said, yes, we enabled Copilot for all the users. Right. Okay, so everyone really wants to have this thing, like AI. We wanna be there. We wanna be part of the AI. We wanna be the first one. I've been working here in the UAE for 20 years, and I know how the culture here and how the market here, you're always in a race. And if you don't go first, sometimes you won't catch it. But today, we will learn it's not always to go first. You need to wisely plan for it and really find the right time when or how to go. Okay, so everyone wants to be the first. Many adopt technology but doesn't understand why or how we need it. So in simple terms, innovation is not transformation. Well, I created this image using AI, and I really like it. We have this employee who want to go to his work daily, which is on the next street. Okay? So we're the board of directors. We're meeting with the CEO, and the CEO said, go do the best. And the CTO, okay, we'll bring him a space shuttle. So the space shuttle is not always good to go to your work on the next street. So why strategy must come first? Great technology does not really guarantee that you will achieve success. So you might really need AI, or you might need a part of it, or you might really need to look at how do you really adopt that. Then what is the key? Strategy comes first. There is a nice model that I've been working on and I went through that's called the strategy first model. In simple terms, for people who's in the tech industry, so I would love to simplify it. First of all, define your vision, that where you're going, right? And then understand your capabilities, what you're really working on. Are you a software company? Are you a government industry serving external customers? And then identify your pain points and opportunities. And the last thing comes the technology. So, you need to look at your problem first, define it, and see how the technology would really solve this. So it won't be always going to be an AI native org, right? I'll try to go quickly. Okay, so technology, as I was explaining, comes at the last point. So that is an enabler, not a goal. I really like that. Technology is an enabler, is not a goal. So great technology amplifies value, but only when aligned with the strategy. One more important point, and everyone today has spoken about it, which is the cybersecurity. So whenever you're going to the technology, planning something, also you need to work on your cybersecurity strategies. In many organizations, they leak most of their data using AI. And I'm sure you know how many of your employees are using ChatGPTs to prepare the reports to you. So cybersecurity is a very critical point here, and you need to really plan it well. And this is a very important note. AI is a multiplier and not a miracle. Like, I think he left already. The gentleman today, he was saying AI is not a genie. So that's the thing. So your tools does not always is the transformation. Most of the salespeople will come to us as a government and said, I have this system that do so and so, that create this and that. And yes, we would love that. Yes, it's nice. I really like how it works. But do I really need that? Or how this will embed in my strategy? I'll give a few examples here, which is, I've seen it during my experience, where people implement, for example, blockchain for simple workflows. I know blockchain people won't like me saying that, but that is an overcomplication. The same thing might be like robotics. I've seen implementations for RPA that you can solve it with a simple integration or a process and a workflow. So sometimes, especially in the early days, where robotics was the trend, again, the word trend, so everybody wanted to implement robotics. However, you're wasting your resources, your people, your technology, platforms, operational cost, just for something can be done in a more simple way. Other thing, AI in predictive maintenance, that is an efficiency. I agree on that. Like you might have, you can learn or teach your machine what items need to be checked periodically and how to assess the maintenance, so that can be an operational efficiency. Random chatbot projects. That was like a few years back, where all the websites have their chatbots and all the customer service have chatbots. And none of us were able to deal with that or use that. Data-driven decision platforms, that is definitely a very important and value creation things. And that is a huge topic itself. So in simple terms, technology does not transform organizations, people with a strategy do. So what does this strategy really means? I've worked with multiple industries. And when it comes to the word strategy, however, everyone uses that and everyone knows that. And there is a lot of courses over there, online and here and there, where you can really learn about strategy. But what I found out, that there is a mistaken simplicity about the word strategy. For example, you meet with your top guy, your management, your CEO. What is our strategy? Would say, I want to be the best IT solution company in the market. We want to be the best car manufacturers. Whatever, best replicant company. And how to achieve that, when you discuss, by getting the best. So we will get our best Salesforce system. We will bring our best technology platforms, best people, best processes, and we will invest on that. And that's how we will succeed. And that's how we will achieve the best. And then ROI is coming, and that's how we can win, and that's how we can achieve returns. And that is a total failure. Because there is no best when it comes to the strategic planning. That is a very important thing. There is no best. How is that? What is the best car manufacturer? Well, it depends. It might be for someone with a high wealth and tech savvy, there is specific car manufacturer. But someone who would drive it to carry some cargo here and there, he needs an economic car, so that is the best car for him, in simple terms. Again, so if you want to define how to win, or what is your strategy here, or how the strategy is, it is not about getting the best in something else. It is how to fulfill the requirements of your customers. Definitely, strategy can be at many aspects and many levels in an organization. So customers can be external customers or internal customers. It depends what kind of strategy you're doing at which part of your organization. So fulfilling your customer requirement in the best way that makes you win, that is how to achieve a good strategy. Definitely, you will not be able to satisfy all of your customers. That's another part. So you need to choose your customers to achieve a competitive advantage at a specific point in your industry. Competitive advantage. That means you will be competing against other industry or technology providers, depends on which field you're in, to achieve your competitive advantage. If you're going to compete on which one is selling at a lower price, then that's, I'm going to sell it cheaper, he's going to sell it cheaper, please sign a contract with us, I'll reduce my margin to 8%, and so on, and this happens. So that's a zero-sum challenge. We're competing to go down. And that is not what we're talking about. So in simple terms, this strategy is an integrated set of choices that will define where you will play and how you will play to make sure that you will succeed and achieve win. I would take some good examples. In the United States, in the early days, actually, like in the 70s, there was an airline company, a very small one, called Southeast. This company's strategy was to compete with the local bus company to travel between one state and internal flights. So Southwest strategy was to work on some choices to reduce their operational cost. One of them was, okay, we will not sell meals on the plane. That is very common right now. The other thing, we are going to unify our planes under one model, so that will reduce our operational maintenance, spare parts, and so on. Earlier, air flights used to fly hub and spoke. So they said, we'll fly point to point. As long as the plane is on the air, that's how we will make money. So based on this set of choices, the strategy of this company, they were really, after a few years, the biggest company in internal flights in the United States. And then those big companies, were they making plans and making what they thought a strategy, they had just to deal with what remaining portion of the market. Other companies were planning to buy bigger airplanes or getting more gates or whatever, invest in higher technology. But Southwest was choosing some options. And one of them, by the way, is encouraging online online booking instead of this, what they call it, middle companies. So that is a very well-known success story that's been happening based on choosing the right strategy, choosing the right options, and how to really achieve our objectives. One more an important thing here we have is some people might mix this strategy with planning. Since we all agreed that strategy comes first. So I'll come to you. What is your strategy? You might tell me, my strategy is to do this project, to implement a new ERP, to internationalize. Well, that is not strategy, that is actions. So as I said, strategies is set of choices combined with actions. Some other mistakes, people mix strategy with an objective. So my goal is to be there, achieve that, get this market share. Again, that is an objective. So in simple terms, you need to really focus what options I need to take and how to choose the right technology that will serve me in achieving my goals and how it will be embedded in my strategy. Basically, the strategy is the holistic approach of all that. The strategy has many aspects. That one of them, and everyone in the company or the organization need to be aware of that in order to really plan projects or come up with initiatives that really support your strategy. There is a very nice topic that comes recently, which is the old game strategy versus the new game strategy. You will be surprised that you all know about it and you have seen it, but I don't think we never thought that this is what they call the old game versus the new game. Everyone who works in strategic and corporate planning would require to achieve those objectives and targets, or those will be how they will be working on strategy. So my strategy will be reducing cost, higher quality, increased productivity, compressed timelines, and benchmarking means I would go and see what was the best practices. The new game. The new game is unorthodox a little bit. It is just exploring new business models, a new industry concept. For example, let's say Netflix. Netflix, we all know this is a very successful platform. But Netflix, they just come out of the box where they combine the online subscription ideas and the cloud for an online streaming videos. So when Netflix came out, that is a combination with two different business industries to achieve a success story. So it's not always the orthodox way of doing things. You need to look at different items. New industry concept, the well-known JP Morgan I think the people in fintech, they really know that. So again, GB Morgan was the starting of an online banking and all that. So they were all getting online statements and all of that through their ideas early, and then now we're all using online banking. So the point here in the new game is creating the next practices instead of following the best practices, exploring infection points, and challenge industry orthodox. Basically, Instagram, when it has been acquired by Facebook for 1 billion dirham, they had only 13 employees working for them because they just choose the right game at the right time. They guessed when the technology will jump or change. I know we don't have much time, but I would require a few more minutes, please. Okay, so the other part, which is very important in achieving success and writing the right strategy, is the cultural part. Okay, I'll go through this quickly. That's a huge topic, but the cultural part is mainly your leadership style. That is very important 6 traits of a successful strategic leader that I would advise everyone to go through and look at. In simple terms, if you're a strategic leader or a successful leader, and one of your employees is not really doing well, so you have 2 options. Either to go to him and tell him, listen, for the past quarter, your numbers was not really well. That means if you don't fix that, you're goodbye, you're fired. The other way of doing that is going and meeting him. Tell him you were doing well, but the last quarters your numbers was less. Are you okay? How can I help you? So imagine how this would affect the employee and how loyal he will be, and how this will affect the overall culture of the organization. One of the very success stories, I had to tell many, but that is a very good one, is how Dubai government implemented Dubai Now. Okay? The Dubai Now idea was not just to jump to the automation. When they started in the early days, they were really planning and establishing their data, customer data, what the customers need, when no one really knew that is coming, but the government were establishing the base for that. So they didn't go after technology and services, no, they went to what the customer needs. So, final word, let strategy read technology, and let the culture empower the innovation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tello, for that amazing presentation on strategic tech planning and your perspectives on it. We will now quickly take a short break and resume in next 30 minutes again. Let's take a brief refreshment break before we move to closing session and award ceremony. So gear up and come back, folks. See you all in 30 minutes, okay? Thank you.